Delighted to get a few minutes with Yash, who is an Android developer at Tinder. Yash, thank you for taking the time.
Hi Viraj, happy to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about your background. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I recently graduated from University of Wisconsin Milwaukee, completed my master's in computer science. Right now, I'm working at Tinder as an Android developer. In the past, I've worked at a few companies as an Android developer intern. So yeah, that's kind of my background.
Got it. And when did you graduate from your master's program?
So I graduated in this May 2021.
Okay,
So yeah,
got it. So May of 2021 is when you graduated with your master's in computer science, I think.
right.
Gotcha. And when did you start searching for job opportunities in the US?
Well, I would say I started when I just landed to US. I wasn't aware about whether you are allowed to work in the US as soon as you come in. But my job search started, I would say around when I did my internship at Simulation Dynamics, so August 2020. I started then.
Okay, August 2020. So almost a year, actually, no, almost 2 semesters prior to your graduation date is when you started
Correct.
searching for full-time opportunities. Now, if you were to look back, do you think you had enough time when it came to searching for job opportunities?
I would say yes. Since I started early, I had to, learn a lot. I had friends, who have been looking for jobs, who were graduating, so they were really helpful. So I would say yes, I had enough time for my job search.
Got it. How did you approach your job search at the beginning? Again, going back to August 2020, when you were
Mhm.
just beginning your full-time job search, what was your initial approach like?
My initial approach was just to go onto the careers page of a website, look up on LinkedIn, just apply with my resume. Uh, to expand on that, I didn't have any knowledge about how the resume should look like, the formatting and stuff like, which was kind of very important. So at that time, I was like, all right, just create a resume, add a few of my stuff, like 5, 10 bullet points in one, position, and just upload it and see what happens. So that's kind of my approach was it at that time.
Got it. Got it. And now, if you were to look back, how would you have changed your job search approach?
I would say there are a lot of resources out there to going out, checking LinkedIn, seeing what other people are doing with their resume. I would say the first step would be look out the posts that people are putting in. Like I got into Amazon, I got into Walmart, and those places. Just go onto the profile, like look at their resume. So
Mhm.
that's the first step I would say. You know, because resume makes a lot of difference in your job search. Because people looking at you don't want you to say read 10 points. They just want to see like one point that makes a lot of impact. And that would one change I would do. Also reaching out to HR. So when I started, I was like, all right, just go to the careers page, upload my resume, and let's see what happens. But I would say reaching out to HR people, recruiters, sending out a message on LinkedIn saying, all right, I'm looking for a job. I'll be graduating at this time. And yeah, those are a couple of things I would, if I would have done earlier, would have made a lot of difference. I wouldn't have to spend a lot of time in this.
Awesome. What did you do to get the interviews from the companies that you applied for?
Right. So at August, there was like basic steps. Then I met a couple of friends who talked about how they are doing the job search or applying for the application. They were like a lot of focusing on the resume. I would say meeting recruiters was the point. Getting interviews was again doing application. All the interviews that I got were through application. Couple of them were through referrals,
Mhm.
which was again important. People getting refer. If you're getting referred, that makes you're on the higher on the chain. So yeah, that's how I got interviews.
Got it. Got it. So the way you got interviews mainly were just through applying online. And you were able to get the
Right.
interviews because you had a great resume. You worked on a resume, and then you
Right.
also got a couple of interviews through referrals from
Right.
friends or who did
Right.
those
So the
referrals come from?
friends, I had one in PayPal, one in Amazon, and then one in Walmart. So the few.
Got it. And now, if you were to look back, what would you have changed to get interviews? How do you have changed your approach, I guess, to get the interviews?
Um, what would have changed? Getting more referrals, I guess.
Hmm.
I I hadn't talked to a lot of people. If you say networking, so maybe improving my networking skill was one important thing. I would say if I would have improved on that, maybe things were could get a little easier.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would say networking was the part. I would say improve on it. Talk to a lot of people. There are people who want to talk, so just communicating with them.
got it. So that's a great point that you bring. Like just making sure that everyone and anyone in your circle is aware of the kind of opportunities you're looking for just through networking. I think
Right,
they might be able to refer you for like some positions if
right.
they're aware of. It's a great advice. How did you prepare for the interviews that you got, whether through referrals or even just through applying online? What were you doing to prepare for the interviews?
That's a good question. For software engineer, the first important thing for you to do is to write code, right? So you should be able to program. You should make like if I'm an Android developer, I should know how to build an app, right? But there were many companies who wanted to scale my programming skills, wanted to test my programming skills. So going on to platforms like LeetCode, that's one of the websites that I prepared through. Doing questions on that, trying to understand what kind of pattern companies are using. So usually it's like you have one round of coding assessment, which they just give out, links, go onto this website, do those three questions, and if you're able to do all of them, then you'll be probably get on the next step. So I did a lot of programming. I built a lot of projects. I worked on my communication, which was kind of important because when you're trying to interview, you should be able to talk about what you have done, what skills you come with, why are you applying. That's like those questions.
Got it. Now, looking back, was there anything that you could have done more to prepare for the interviews? Would you have changed your approach?
I won't say I would change my approach. I think in terms of preparing for the interviews, I did a good job over there.
Mhm.
Getting an interview was tough, but after I got the interview, the conversion rate was very high. So I would say I think my approach was pretty much good in that area.
Awesome. Let's pivot towards some company specific questions. How did you come across the specific role of Android developer at Tinder?
To be honest, I'm an Android developer. So Google Play Store is the big hub for apps, and as an Android developer, if there is an app, there is a developer behind it. So I just went on to Google Play. I looked up a bunch of apps that are trending. I see, all right, this app is doing good. I just went on to the website, see if they have any position for Android developer, and then I just applied.
Wow,
And
that's such a unique way of looking at potential jobs that are out in the market. That's such a unique way.
in LinkedIn, you can obviously search for Android developer, but since you're building apps, which is eventually going to go onto Play Store, that means people are going to require developers, and if they're looking to expand, that's the best place for positions, I would say.
Wow, that's a great insight, to be honest. How did you get the interview for the role at Tinder?
Like I said, in August, I was just applying.
Uh huh.
Same thing happened with the Match Group. So I just went on the website. I posted I mean, I submitted my application, added my resume, and this resume was a different one that I was using in August. So maybe that may have changed. And also the position was quite unique. So they were looking for someone to add into the revenue team, and I had experience with that. So maybe that would have been one of the reasons for getting that opportunity to interview.
Got it. So you just applied online through their
Yeah.
portal, and that's how you got the interview for the role at Tinder.
Right. That's the most surprising interview that I've got, to be honest. I didn't really expect to get an interview, but yeah, that was very interesting to get.
Got it. And what was the interview process like for the role?
So it was very generic. You had coding interview, you have one with the team, so you have to build a live app, and then you have the hiring manager interview. So the process was pretty generic, but what I really like about the process was how it was carried out, the communication, which was pretty neat on Tinder side.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Got it.
so
So,
3 months, I would say.
mhm. So how many interviews did you have?
So around, I would say four. First was just an HR call, and then I got an assessment. I did that, and then after that, I was called for a live coding session. So it was like live coding session went for 5 to 6 hours. So
Okay.
that was really hectic. So someone, if you're looking for a job, be prepared for it. And the last interview was like you talk to the hiring managers, understand the vision of the company, mission, and everything.
Got it. Got it. So you had like around 3 or 4 interviews. First one was the HR. Second one was just a long 4 or 5 hour interview where you were
Oh
just
no, second
coding,
was like the coding assessment,
the
those
coding
questions
assessment.
they sent out, yeah. And then we had the live interview.
Got it. And you had the live interview, and then finally you had one interview with the hiring manager.
Right.
Got it. And how long after your last interview did you get the offer?
After 2 days,
After 2 days? Got it.
yeah. Because the situation was different for me. At that time, I had like 3 offers pending, so I wanted to make a decision. So I told, like, yeah, these offers, and I want to make a decision as soon as possible. I don't want anyone to be waiting on that. So
Yes.
yeah.
Got it. Any last piece of advice for any international student who might be seeking a full time opportunity in the US?
In terms of software engineer, I would say do a lot of projects. That's really important. You should have those projects. It doesn't matter if you have an internship. I've seen people getting a job even if they haven't done any internships. But it's important you do projects, make them available on GitHub, make live projects, so at least the recruiter can view it. Another thing would be prepared when you get an offer. It doesn't matter if you get one, if you get 10, but be sure you're prepared at that time, because the reason is if you get like 5 offers, you would have to make a decision, which gets tough. Getting an interview is tough. At the same time, getting an offer and deciding on to which company you want to join is again tough. So make sure you know which company you want to have, or create a priority list, or rank those companies. And yeah, just chill out. I think it's gonna work out if you're preparing well. But yeah, work on your resume. That's it.
Got it. Awesome. Yash, thank you for taking the time. Really appreciate it.